It's been a while since I've done this. Hey, my name's Sharana, aka the Manicured Scientist, and today I'm going to be talking about tinted moisturizers slash light coverage foundations that I've tried over the last year plus, and rank them from 1 to 10. If you don't know, because I haven't posted on this YouTube in 10 months, so you actually might not know, I like doing complexion reviews. Personally, I prefer a lot more minimal makeup, tinted moisturizer, BB cream, like a lightweight foundation, maybe a little mascara, lip gloss, little eyeshadow stick like today. I'm feeling a little fancy, but that's really it. Some foundation companies and makeup companies in general don't seem to make products that actually work for brown skin like mine, especially when it comes to undertones, but we'll get to that. So what I've been on a mission to do for the last year and a half-ish, almost 2 years now, trying a bunch of tinted moisturizers and light coverage foundation products, wearing them for 8 to 10 hours, usually pushing the 10-hour mark, seeing how they hold up on my oily combination skin, and then actually giving you a solid review on them after that time. So I'm going to share my thoughts on those and do like a quick little 2023 roundup so that way you can know, if you have skin like mine, which of these products are actually worth your money and which ones you should just leave at the store. So over on my blog, themanicuredscientist.com, is where I keep all of these reviews. I do full blog posts writing up my thoughts on them. I'll link any YouTube videos that I make, whether it's like a short or a long one, and kind of have like a running tab on like my tinted moisturizer guide post. I keep that updated, and it's got like a running list of like all the products that I've tried and reviewed and my current rankings for them. Here's a couple of points that I look at and things that are important to me when it comes to figuring out if a tinted moisturizer is good or not. Editing Sharana here to say that I talk way too much, as evidenced by the length of this video. Real quick, here's the 6 points that I look for. First one, does it have good shade range? I don't care how good the formula is. If you come out with something that's, hello pineapple. If you come out with something that's 30 shades, but 25 of them are white, I'm gonna be mad. If you come out with something that's only 5 or 6 shades, unless you're a really small brand, I'm also gonna be mad. You need to have a decent shade range. Number 2, light to medium coverage. Full coverage foundation is not for me. I like minimal makeup, so I'm not looking for anything that's got very, very heavy full coverage. Medium is the most coverage that I'm going for, and even then, I'm probably gonna try to shear it down, to be honest. Number 3, is it blendable with just my fingers? Okay, I don't want to always have to grab tools, brushes, sponges, whatever to put your product on. If I'm feeling super lazy, I want to slap it on with my fingers after my skincare is done and walk out the door. Does your product look good that way, or do I have to use other tools? Number 4, is it long lasting? What good is a complexion product if it's only going to last 3 or 4 hours on my face? Okay, not good for me. I want something that's going to last minimum 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours. I'm looking for more of the 8 to 10 hour range. All right. Most of these wear tests that I've done for these reviews were closer to the 10-hour mark because, again, that's what's important to me. But does it actually last on my skin is the main thing that I'm looking for. Number 5, does it match my skin without needing extra work? Okay, some products you end up needing to get 2 different shades because the middle of my face is lighter than the outside of my face. So do I have to buy 2 shades, or do you have 1 shade that's a good middle ground that I can just put all over and it still looks good? Or am I going to look ashy on the outside of my face versus too dark in the middle of my face? I need it to work, okay? I also don't want to have to buy a separate concealer to lighten the middle of my face or need to buy a contour for the outside. I don't want to have to fuss with all of that, all right? Make me a shade that actually works for my skin, please and thank you. And lastly, does it look good on my oily combination skin? This kind of goes in with the long-lasting part, but basically, oily skin can mess up a foundation real quick depending on how it's been formulated. So I want to know, is it actually made to hold up decently well on combination skin? Is it going to cling to dry patches around my mouth? Is it going to separate and look super greasy on my forehead in 5 minutes? What's going on? All right, I need to know. Okay, back to the video. All right, all of that out the way, let's get into the products that I tried over the last year and a half. So number 10 on the list is the Lip Bar's Just a Tint Skin Conditioner. This is their skin tint, tinted moisturizer, whatever you want to call it. At the time I wore the shade Almond. This is one that I wore and tested back in 2022. So it's been a little while since I've used this, but honestly, it wasn't a good foundation for me. There's 12 shades available, and it is available at Target. So I love that accessibility. It's also a Black-owned brand, which gotta support that way. Unfortunately, this product just didn't hold up well on my oily combination skin. I looked very, very oily after 10 hours, and I felt very oily, and I felt like greasy, like I was ready to wash my face. It also has SPF 11 built in, which Any SPF is better than none, I will say, but 11 really isn't enough coverage or protection for most people. I think the suggestion is like SPF 30, so I would still recommend putting on an SPF underneath this product because the 11 alone really isn't going to do that much for you. For me, this was a no-go. I only gave this 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite product. Number 9 is the Mented Skin Foundation Stick. Another product that you can pick up at Target. So again, it's not drugstore pricing because it is a little bit more expensive, but at least it's available at the drugstore or like on the drugstore website. You know what I mean? They have 16 shades on the Mented website. You can actually buy a sampler card where they give you a little sample of all 16 of those shades. That way you can really swatch and see which one's going to be best for you. If you're buying a foundation product from Target, you usually can't get samplers. You can't get a tester to see which one's going to match you. So the fact that they offer that on their website is really, really handy. Unfortunately, this product didn't work well for me either. It left my skin feeling very oily and greasy, kind of like the Lip Bar one. It was a thicker stick texture, so as I was applying it on my skin and like rubbing it in, it kind of tugged a little bit, even though I put my skincare on underneath. It felt like it didn't really do anything, and I was like tugging to try to get it to blend in, so it wasn't great with my fingers. I think if you used a brush, it would have been fine, but like for me, again, one of my big points is can I use my fingers and just slap it on and walk out the door? And for this one, I kind of couldn't do that. So this one only got 3 stars, not my favorite. Number 8 is from L'Oreal. This is their Skin Paradise Tinted Moisturizer. It came in 14 shades and it has SPF 19, which I respect L'Oreal for adding in SPF into a product like this. Again, the recommendation is SPF 30, so 19 is closer to that 30, but still something I would recommend putting sunscreen on underneath. The shade that I was wearing, shade Deep 1, pulled a little bit more orange on my skin than I would have preferred. Because it was very, very light coverage, it kind of blended in and didn't look that bad. But when I swatched and compared it to some of the other foundation products that I owned, it was one of the more orange ones. The formula was really hydrating though, I will say. So I think if you have drier skin and you want something that's gonna feel like very moisturizing on your skin, you would really like this product if they have it in a shade for you. It's not a bad product. It wasn't my favorite, and it's not one that I reached for on off days when I wasn't doing a review. If I was like, oh, I want to put makeup on before I go to work today, I wasn't reaching for that product. I was reaching for something else. So not one that I would repurchase myself, but not a bad product. Number 7 is the Maybelline SuperStay Skin Tint. I did review this one pretty recently, so I hope there's no like recency bias in that, but the only reason that I gave this product 4 stars is because of the formula. I loved the formula on this product. Like a very liquidy, watery texture that blends into the skin really easily with my fingers, and it dried down pretty quickly. I tend to blend in foundation relatively quickly, so if you go slower, it may end up drying down before you get it fully blended. So let me just put that out there. But because it did dry down like that, it gave my skin a very skin-like finish. I don't want to say that it was matte. I guess maybe satin's the word for it. I don't know. But it wasn't glowy, it wasn't dewy. It just made my skin look like skin. It had a very sheer coverage. I could build it up if I wanted more coverage in certain areas, but it was very, very sheer to start out with. The one thing I didn't like about this though was the shade. So I ended up wearing shade 355, but I was able to go into a store and swatch 3 different colors. So I did 355, which was mine, 1 below it and 1 above it. And when I looked at the 3 of those, there was kind of big jumps between them. Like I feel like they could have added a few more products or a few more shades in between those to get it to look better. And also, like, it's Maybelline. You're a big enough brand that you should be able to come out with shades in between. You know what I mean? There's 18 shades total, so not the worst, but again, you're Maybelline. You should be able to have like 30 shades to your foundation, to your skin tints. Now, I'm wondering if they're one of those that's like, oh, well, it's just a sheer tint. You don't need a bunch of shades because one person or multiple people can use the same one shade. Maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know, but the one that they made pulls a little bit more red on me, which I noticed with a lot of Maybelline products. Complexion products always tend to pull red. They don't do a good job when it comes to other undertones for brown foundations, in my opinion. If you found one from Maybelline that actually has different undertones that aren't red when it comes to brown foundations, please let me know because I would love to try it. It's not something I'm reaching for though, and it's not something I'm going to be repurchasing. So it's good, but it could be way better, especially because it's Maybelline. Like, come on girl, you can do way better than this. Number 6, Sephora collection. This was their matte tinted moisturizer. This product might be discontinued at this point, and if it is, I'm so sorry. this review is from like mid 2022. I wore the shade 12 Tweed, which was a tiny bit light, a tiny bit orange, not as bad as some of the other products that I had tried, but just putting it out there. I think at the time there were 20 shades of this. Nope, I lied. There were 16 shades of this product. So again, kind of, I feel like if you have a product that's between 15 to 20 shades, that's a good starting point. Anything less than 15 shades for your foundation, I'm going to start to side-eye you unless you're a smaller brand, you know? I don't know. I think 15, 16 shades, like if you do like 4 fair or light, 4 medium, 4 dark, 4 deep dark, or, you know, tan and then deep, some kind of way, like 4 in each of those groupings, I think makes sense and is a good baseline. And if you do it that way, you're gonna have a good gradient of shades as well. Don't do 12 of them that are light to medium and then 4 that are deep dark, because the people on the deep dark end are gonna be screwed. I'm just saying. Anyway, they didn't do that. They had a decent shade range, a decent like blend of those shades. And it was a matte foundation. No, a matte tinted moisturizer. I loved that. Again, oily skin, anything matte finish, I'm gonna be a fan of. I really enjoyed that. It was very lightweight, blended in nicely with my fingers, and it was inexpensive. Yes, it's something you would buy at Sephora, which tends to be more high-end, but because it's a Sephora collection, like the store brand, it was less expensive. It was almost on par with like a drugstore brand, which I respected. You know, not everybody wants to go to the drugstore and buy their makeup, so I liked the fact that Sephora offered something that was actually less expensive and still good quality. I liked the product. I give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I think if I went back and tried it now, I would hopefully find a shade a little bit deeper, a little bit less orange. But again, I think it's being discontinued because when I last looked on the website, most of them were on clearance and there was only like a few shades available left. So this might not even be available anymore. Numbers 4 and 5 are from the same brand, so we're just gonna talk about them together. That would be the Fenty Eaze Drop Skin Tints. Number 5 I gave to the stick foundation spot, and number 4 was the liquid spot. Does that make sense? That was the weirdest way for me to say that. Anyway, I recently tried the stick foundation. I tried the liquid foundation a year and some change ago. Loved it. Honestly, the liquid skin tint from Fenty is the product that got me started on this whole skin tint tinted moisturizer review series, because I loved that product so much and I wanted to like see how well it did comparing it to other tinted moisturizers, lightweight foundations, whatever you want to call them, complexion products. Loved the liquid. I, at this time, was wearing shade 20. It blended in really nicely on my skin. I could blend it with my fingers, no problem. I liked the fact that it came in a plastic dropper bottle, like not like a dropper that you have to do this, but like a squeeze bottle that just had like a nozzle on it. So it was very easy to control. It wasn't gonna break in my bag because it was plastic. It had the normal like 1 ounce of product. At the time, I think it was like $28. It's gone up to $35 now, but like everything's gone up in price. I really liked the liquid. So when the stick foundation came out this past August, I was like, I have to try this. Picked it up over the summer, ended up getting shade 21 because I was a little bit darker at the time, and I really liked that too. The thing for me though, comparing the two, was that the stick foundation did blend in nicely, but not as nicely as the liquid did, just comparing the two of those together. The stick glided onto my skin really nicely though, I will say, compared to some other stick foundations that like kind of tugged a little bit. This one didn't tug at all, and it did feel really good going onto my skin. Okay, what's the best way for me to say this? The liquid skin tint held on to its matte satin skin-like finish for longer before it started to get oily, compared to the stick, which had that for a little bit but then started to get oily sooner in the day, if that makes sense. So for me and my oily skin, the liquid won out. But they're both really good products. I think at that point it kind of just depends which formula you like better. Do you want a liquid or do you want a stick? They're the same price, they're the same shade range, they're the same brand. So at that point, it's kind of just a toss-up between the two. For me, I preferred the liquid, but the stick was still really good too. Number 3 is the Thread Foundation Stick, which is actually the one that I'm wearing right now in this video. This foundation stick surprised me, all right? I was not expecting to like an $8 foundation stick this much. Forget stick, foundation product in general. And then add on the fact that it's a stick, and I had like okay-ish luck with other foundation sticks in the past. I wasn't expecting to like this one as much as I do. The other thing that had me a little worried, not gonna lie, is it's by the same founder as the Lip Bar, and I didn't like the Lip Bar's foundation, so yes, they're two different brands. It's a liquid versus a stick. I still wasn't sure how this other brand by that same person was going to do when it came to foundations. I, I, I don't know. They did something different though, because I love this foundation stick. It glides onto my skin really nicely. I can blend it in with my fingers with no problem at all. It doesn't really cling to dry patches. After a while, you can start to kind of see it break up a little bit, but it's nothing extravagant. It's nothing excessive. It doesn't look bad. It really doesn't look bad after 8 hours, 10 hours. How long did I wear this one? Hold on. 10. I wore this for 10 hours and it looked great at the end of the day. I had a little bit of shine like right here, a little bit like right here, but for the most part, it looked good. It wasn't super oily. I didn't feel like I need to go wash my face. I didn't feel greasy or heavy like some other foundations did. It's just a good product, man. I don't know what to say. I was really surprised by it. So Thread, shout out to you. You did this for $8. Number 2 on my top 10 out of 10 that I tried foundations, tinted moisturizers, is Smashbox Halo Tinted Moisturizer. I have been singing the praises on this product for almost a full year now. I did this review January of 2023. So, the Smashbox Halo Tinted Moisturizer. It's like Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow Tinted Moisturizer. It's a long name. Don't do all that. Calm down. But that product, right? It has 20 shades. They offer a travel size for 12 of those shades. Bonus points right there for offering a travel size, because not everybody wants to spend full price on a tinted moisturizer, especially this one, which is $41 for a full size. Listen, my cutoff, I won't say hard cutoff, but like in my mind mentally, I don't want to spend more than $30 for a foundation product. And even at $30, I'm like, you're pushing it. Like, this better be the best thing ever for $30. $41, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to buy this. So the fact they had a travel size for $16, I was like, oh, okay, that's much better for me. I will pick this up, see it, pick this up, try it, see if I like the product, see if it matches my skin, see how it holds up on my face, and then we'll go from there. And then I loved it. And I was like, dang it, I would pay full price. That's stretching it. I would wait for a sale, but I would buy the full size of this. So at the time, I picked up the shade Tan Dark, which is one of the travel sizes that they offered. And it matched my skin pretty well. I think like I said, it was January, so wintertime, it matched me pretty well. But I knew that going into the warmer months, if I had gotten a little bit of a tan, it would end up being too light. There's 8 shades darker than that one, so great gradient blend when it comes to their shade range. So what I ended up doing is picking up the shade Tan Olive in the full size when they had a sale, because I still didn't want to spend $40. And Tan Olive matches me even better than Tan Dark did. Tan Olive, because the olive is in the name, it has olive undertones. It's a product for brown skin that has olive undertones. When I tell you, I was shocked. I know olive's in the name, but I've been played before by products that are like, yeah, we're totally olive, and then they're not. They're like neutral at best. It held up very nicely on my skin. It blended in very easily with just my fingers because it's a more watery texture. It's in a plastic squeezy tube, so I don't have to worry about breaking anything or dropper bottles or whatever. So plastic squeezy tube makes it easy to travel with as well. It matches my face one shade. I don't need the 2 different colors. It held up really well after 10 hours, which for something called Healthy Glow, I was scared, you know? I'm like, you put glow in the name, I'm thinking I'm gonna look shiny and like a grease ball in 4 or 5 hours. And that's not what happened here. My skin just looked really healthy and like skin for the whole entire day. By the end of the day, I had some shine in my T-zone, but like, again, I'm used to that. That's going to happen if I'm not using a powder or something else. I was fine with it after 10 hours. So wait for a sale, get that travel size. I think it's an amazing product. I wish the price was lower, but it's an amazing product. And number one on my tinted moisturizer rankings is the L'Oreal True Match Tinted Serum. I have also been talking about this product for months now. I think over a year, to be honest. So I wore the shade 7-8 when I did this review. On the website, it says that there's 14 shades. There's a picture that I found that only has 10 of them available. When I went into the store, you could see the shades that were in between. Why wouldn't you put that on your website? Like, what do you have more shades than what you're talking about. Show all of them. What are you doing? Anyway, I did kind of get little swatches to compare the shades that I didn't see on the website. So 7 to 8 is the one that I was wearing in my review and the one that I currently own. I think in the summer I would probably go up to like, what is it, 7.5, 8.5? Yeah, I think that's the one I'd go up to. Either way, there's 14 shades, which, look, L'Oreal, I'm side-eyeing you. You're a big freaking brand. You could have more than 14 shades of your tinted moisturizer. You have more than that for your foundations, I'm pretty sure. So, like, let's keep it up. Let's keep that same energy and get more shades to this product, because the formula for this is incredible. It's a tinted serum, but it's a thick serum, okay? It's not watery like some of the other tinted moisturizers that I've tried, or like tinted whatevers you want to call it. It's thick. All right, like I drop some on my hand and it doesn't move. It blends into my skin really nicely though, even with just my fingers, which had me nervous because as thick as it was, I was like, this is gonna need a brush. It doesn't. I can blend it in really nicely, and it dries down not as much as that Maybelline SuperStay does to have that matte finish, but it makes my skin still look like skin. It didn't look super shiny, glowy, dewy, whatever, like, but it also wasn't so matte caked on of like you have makeup on. It just looks like my face was really, really clear. It loses points for being in a glass bottle that my clumsy ass is going to end up dropping and breaking at some point. And having a dropper, like unscrew, dropper, right? Why? What are we doing? Okay, give me a pump or give me death. That's excessive. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want a dropper bottle for my foundation. I want there to be a pump so I can just easily, like, okay, do what I gotta do, keep going, right? The dropper's annoying. The dropper's messy. I don't like it. I also don't like the glass, but again, that's just me being clumsy and I'm gonna drop it, I'm gonna break it. If I'm traveling, I don't bring this one with me. I bring the Smashbox. All of that aside, the formula is incredible. It held up on my skin for so long and looked so good on my face after 8 to 10. I think I did 10 hours for that one. And it's from the drugstore. Like, you get points for being a drugstore product. You get points for being under $20. Like, there's always coupons, there's always sales. It's a really, really good tinted moisturizer. It's exactly what I think about when I think of something that's gonna give me a little bit of coverage, but still make my skin look like skin. It just works. I don't know what else to say. It just works. So those are my top 10. Those are my rankings of tinted moisturizers that I've tried and reviewed over the last year and some change. Top 3, Thread, Smashbox, L'Oreal. The tinted serum, not the Skin Paradise. Don't do that one. Get the tinted serum, okay? If you're into minimal makeup like I am, I'm really curious. Let's start a conversation. What is the best tinted moisturizer / BB cream / lightweight foundation complexion base product that you have tried as somebody who likes minimal makeup? If you don't like minimal makeup and you do more full coverage, what's the lowest coverage that you'll go? Do you go for something that's medium? Do you don't mind light, like skin tints? Do you only do the full coverage ones? If you have tried something that's more light coverage, did it have a decent shade range? Were you able to find your shade, or do you suffer like I do with the curse of the Oompa Loompa where you look orange? Let's talk. Throw it all in the comments. Let's start a conversation. I think that's it. I'm gonna go get some food now because I'm very hungry. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe like I said, so you don't miss out on these next reviews, because eventually I will get around to these. I'm trying to do a lot better at setting a goal for myself and actually posting YouTube videos and blog posts like once a month at the very minimum is what my goal is for 2024. So fingers crossed I can stick to that, because that's my goal for 2023 and it didn't work. So we're gonna try it again. It's fine. If you want to hang out with me off of YouTube, here's all my social media links. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you again to my Ko-Fi supporters for helping me buy the products that I need to buy so I can do this series. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.